Okay, in this lesson, this is day 2 of scatter plots. Okay, we're going to focus on finding the line of best fit of a scatter plot and making predictions. Okay, and I'm just going to go over a few slides to help get you started on this. Okay, I'm going to focus on slides 3 and 4. Okay, 3 and 4. We're going to look at an example. We're going to look at time studying for a test versus test scores. Okay, on the y-axis, we have test scores. X-axis, we have hours studied. So I guess we found some test scores of about 20 students or so, and we figured out how many hours did they study, and a point represents each student. Okay. Let's first, before we start doing a line of best fit, just think about the data. I think that's really helpful. It just helps you kind of get an idea of what's going on before you even start doing the problem. So these are good questions. As the hours studying increase, do the test scores increase or decrease? Okay, so as the hours studied increase, as you go from left to right, what are the points doing? What are they showing? Okay, they're showing that the test scores increase. Okay, what kind of association is it? Okay, well, is it linear, nonlinear, or none at all? Okay, well, it's linear because the points kind of hover around a line. Okay, is it a positive or negative association? Okay, remember, as the x-axis increases, if the points are going up, that means it's a positive association. If the points were going down from left to right, it would be negative. Okay, but the points are going up, so that's positive. Okay, are there any outliers? Okay, I'm going to say this point right here is kind of far away from the others. Okay, this is point 95. I'm going to say 0.095 is an outlier. Okay, if there is an outlier, what does this represent? Okay, just think about in this problem, that outlier, what does 0.095 mean? Well, 0 is the hours studied, because that's the x-coordinate from the x-axis, which is hours. 95 is the score of 95. So apparently someone studied 0 hours and got a 95. So the outlier means, I'll put this represents a student who's, I'm just going to put who didn't study at all. Okay, earned a score of 95. You could word that other ways, but that's definitely an outlier. And maybe he's fibbing. Maybe he really did study. Okay, but that's what it shows. The student that didn't study at all earned a score of 95. Okay, let's look at the line of best fit. This is brand spanking new to you. Okay, we're going to find the equation of the line of best fit and predict a score for a student studying 2.5 hours. So that they gave you the line of best fit. The hardest part about doing the line of best fit, the equation. Okay, you got to find the slope and the Y-intercept to get the equation. The hardest part is just really thinking about the counting on the x-axis and y-axis. Okay, look at the counting. How do they line the spacing up on the y-axis? Okay, think about it this way, guys. Here's 60. Here's 80. Okay, halfway between is 70. And then if I cut 60 from 60 to 70 and a half, I'd get 60 and 65, 70 and 75, and 80. Okay, do you see that we're counting by fives? Okay, do you see that we're counting by fives on the y-axis? Even though it looks like we're just counting by ones. Okay, if you're not really looking at those numbers on the tick marks. Okay, we're really counting by fives. 60, 65, 70, 75, 80. Okay, on the x-axis, here's 1 and 2. Halfway between would be a half. I'm going to look at it this way. Every 2 spaces is a half of an hour. Every 2 spaces is a half an hour. Okay, so when I do my slope, it's really important I think about that. Okay, so to find slope, find 2 corner points on the blue line. Okay, ignore the red dots now, guys. I don't care about those red dots anymore. I'm just looking at the blue line. I think these points right here are really good corner points. I'm just pointing to them. Okay, so to get from here to here, I can find slope, because those are pretty good corner points. Okay, it looks like I'm going up 1/2 for slope. Okay, but I'm not. Okay, the y-axis is counting by 5s. So I'm going up 5. My rise is 5. My run, okay, it looks like 2. But remember, 2 spaces on the x-axis is a half hour. So I'm really going up 5 over a half. Up 5 over a half. If I wanted to simplify 5 divided by a half, I could use a calculator. I could copy, change, flip, make it 5 times 2 over 1. I get 10. Okay, the y-intercept, that's the hardest part, guys, honestly. That's what's messing people up the most when they do a lesson over this, is really thinking about numbering. Okay, the y-intercept is 61, where it crosses the y-axis. So my equation is y equals 10x plus 61. Just put the slope in front of the x, the y-intercept at the end. And now to predict, they're giving me 2.5 as hours. 2.5 is hours. That's the x-axis. They're giving me that x is equal to 2.5. Okay, they're asking for the test score, which is y. So we're going to put 2.5 in for x and solve for y. So I'm just going to type in y equals 10 times x. Okay, x is 2.5. And then I'm going to add 61. So I'm just going to take 10 times 2.5 first, which is 25. And then I'm going to add 61. If I add 25 to 61, let's see, I get 86. So my equation tells me if I study 2.5 hours, at least if I follow along with the other people in the class, I would get an 86 on the test. Just for a second, since we have time, we could actually look at the graph too instead of the equation. Here's 2.5 hours spent studying. Go straight up to the line. Looky here. I'm right here above 2.5. The graph is showing me 90. Okay, it's not the same exact answer, but it's still pretty close. Okay, but in the lessons on Khan Academy, they want you to use the equation to predict instead of the graph to predict. Okay, do your best on these, and please let me know how you're doing if you have any trouble at all.